Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are and wherever you may be in watching this replay. Pretty excited about today. Have you ever found a fancy art tool in the trash can? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today is fancy art tools that you find in your trash. And we're going to jelly print with them. I found three interesting tools and that is what we're going to talk about. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And it really helps with the algorithm and it really helps with connecting with others because they see that you're watching the video. So therefore they might want to watch it. So if you find this video really helpful and engaging, please, give it a thumbs up and comment below. We are on day 56. We have less than 40 days to go to, or less than 50, can't count this morning, sorry. Less than 50 days to go to 100 days, and I am really interested, seriously, I'm really interested in what could make these videos better for you and what you would like to learn from jelly printing and the mindfulness of using art as a stress relief. That's really what my mission's about, and bringing this kinds of content to you. So definitely, I'm very interested in that. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below on what you would like to see in these videos, and I will see if I can get that in the line of things for the next less than 50 days. Pretty excited that we've reached that milestone of 56 days. So, and with that, let's go ahead and get started. So, I found some interesting tools. One, uh, we are remodeling a piece of our house, a small piece, not a big piece, but and so we found these tiles, but these tiles here are not flat, right? So they got this little ridge up here at the top. So yeah, we'll print with this side, but I can tell you that I'll just get like little lines. But what's more interesting is the back side of this. So I thought we'd try that out and see what that looked like today. Then I saw this looks like to be from a faucet. And what I liked about was how flat this was right here for the round shape. And so we'll try that one. And then, well, the wind got the best of my wind chime. So I had one of these cool little wind chimes and it broke. And so I thought it would be cool to see what it would look like to print with either one of these. And you know what? If they don't work out, I can always throw them back in the trash. So let's go ahead and get started on those fun little tools and see how they turn out. Um, there it is. Winsor Newton. I love Winsor Newton, but man, I cannot get their tops off without a pair of pliers. It's just, I think it's something with my hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and put um, some paint down here. Now I am using somebody has asked me this. I'm using a 6-inch brayer on my 8x10 gel plate. And I like the bigger brayer. Um, I get less lines with it. So um, let's try this one first. Yep. Okay, so this one is exactly, I think I will be keeping this tool. I like the uh the nice circles that it's making and on this piece. So I think I will be keeping this one for sure. Now I'm just stepping off. I'm using this as a stamp, taking the paint from one plate to the next. This will create two printed images. Yep. I like that sound. Bloop, bloop. So we'll see how this goes. I can tell that it's starting to get dry because of the sound it's making. And it's pulling off more paint. See that? Look. It's pulling off more paint when I stamp. I'm going over the stamps. And what that does when it pulls off more paint like that, because it is getting drier, is it allows more paint that I put on top of it to show through. So this one should be a really interesting one. Okay. And this one is just because I kept going in the same area. It doesn't really matter. And one more right there. Okay. So that ought to be real interesting to see what that looks like. I don't have to wait for it to dry because it's basically dry. We're just going to go with it. I thought it'd be fun to put a little bit of this purple on here, or what's this called? Pale violet. And so that we can see what it looks like where the paint's missing, as I would say. Okay. I knew I had 2 pieces of copy paper in here. Good morning, Christina. How are you? Okay, so I knew I kept going over in the same area, so that, but anyway, that's how that one looked. And then this one ought to be interesting because the bigger area. Oh, this one's really cool. This is a cool tool. I'm keeping this tool. Check that out. So, that was an interesting little, I don't know what trash this is, but I knew when I saw the flat bottom of the circle that it would be a good tool. And then I was pretty excited when I noticed that the paint was drying and I was pulling up more blue paint, that it would really show through. Now, what's interesting is I have some old copy papers. These must have been laser prints, but they're leaving residue on my plate. So, yeah, this is pretty old, but it's leaving a lot of math on my plate, which is good, because you like extra texture in your gel prints. Well, that's good. Having coffee is a good day, Christina. I cannot start my day. Well, you've seen me this week start my day without coffee, and that was pretty rough, but we got through it. Okay. Now let's go ahead and try let's play with this guy. I got this one at Joann's when they're doing their going out of business. So we'll play with this one. And that paint, and then we're going to use I'll take a print from the top, but I pretty much know how that's going to turn out. Because it's just a ridge. So it's just going to make ridges. But the real fun is going to be on the back side and see what that looks like. So we'll take this print with the ridges. Maybe it'll surprise me, but I don't think so. Yeah, it moved. So, hold on one second. You see that it's hard, a little, could be a little hard for you to see. Let me turn down there you go. Okay, so there's the ridges there. Oh, this paint is starting to beat up. That's interesting. So this should be an interesting print. Now let's try the other side. This is going to make an interesting print as well because it reminds me of, I want to say plaid, but maybe plaid is not the right word. Make sure I get those edges real good. The viscosity of this paint is a little thinner than, or it's different anyway, than the Winsor Newtons. And I don't know if you could see that, but it's just really starting to create those little snowflake effects. Now, I'm not sure if this is the tool I would want to use. It could, with the paint being a little wet and not tacky, as I would call it, it might be better tool for tacky paint than wet paint. So that is something to consider as well. So let me try to go over like in this area again and see how, if the paint is tacky. I just don't know if this is going to be a tool I will keep. Maybe. This might be a tacky paint tool, if there is such a thing. Tacky paint tool takes more paint off the plate because it's stuck to the tool. That's a new term, tacky paint tool. I'm joking. Yeah, it might be a tacky paint tool. And I think a lighter, we'll try like a lighter, no, I don't want to try it. Yeah, a lighter color I think might be helpful. I'm just going into certain places here, seeing how, I'm just playing with the tool right now just to see how that reacts. Oh yeah, this is a tacky paint tool. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm gonna go with white, just to see what this would look like. Okay. All right. So Christina got big plan. Oh, that's right. Your weekend's a little different. Your weekend is on Monday. So you're coming up on your weekend, Christina. You got big plans for that? Oh yeah. Meeting on Saturday. Well, maybe it'll go better than you think. The paint is taking its time today. Not a bad tool. I mean, definitely provides some nice texture, but it's definitely a tool that I would call a tacky paint tool. Meaning that it pulls up more paint. When any tool could be a tacky paint tool if you think about it, but it doesn't lend itself well to paint that is wet. It if you really want to get a nice print from it, your your paint needs to be a little more tacky. All right. And then that's that one. So, all right. Well, we got some nice backgrounds so far. Now let's do the giant teardrop and see what happens there. I'm gonna go with the blue again. And of course, this one is probably gonna be I don't have a lot of hope for this one, but I'm hoping it surprises me, but I just have a feeling it's gonna be a meh tool. What I would call a meh. So maybe what we'll do is we'll kind of let the paint dry for a second. My poor wooden chime. The wind got a hold of it and twisted it. Well, it's older. Don't get me wrong. I've had it for years, but it finally met its match at the last storm and said, "Peace out." Okay, I'm gonna use this and I don't know. This tool is not worth it. I don't think, but it's okay. We'll put that there. But this one is what I'm more interested in, is seeing how this turns out. So I would be interested in knowing, what kind of trash you find in your trash can. It might not be too bad. We'll see. You will, when you start jelly printing, or if you've been jelly printing and you start looking at textures of packaging and just things in general, you're like, oh, what would that look like as a jelly print? You know. I know I often do, and I often get I don't want to say teased, but I don't know. Yeah, teased. I'll just use the word teased. Teased about, you know, Sherry, why are you digging through the trash can? Well, I'm not really digging through the trash can. I found something in the trash can that I thought would be a good jelly print tool. Yeah, this tacky, it would be a good tacky tool for sure. Um, so maybe this will not be too bad. I kind of like the pattern that it made here. So you use a lot of food packaging? Yes. I saw a couple people use like pill packaging. I think I even have some of that. And so I think that brings interesting texture. And also what I noticed, I don't know if people notice this, Tim Holtz, if you're into Tim Holtz, who's an artist, a mixed media artist, and has a lot of products, some of his packaging makes really good jelly prints with that. I don't know if people have noticed that or not. All right, I'm going to get another color here. Oh, pliers, where did you go? Okay, maybe this one is not meant to be today. Oh, there it is. So I actually, in my art studio, I have a drawer of different tools that I like to use with jelly printing. Um, so I have a trash bin where I collect tools. We do have a little bit of time. I do have time for one more tool. Now, I find this funny. My family, my mom, saw this. She saw the wind chime, so she actually gave me that and said, "What do you think about this tool for jelly printing?" So she goes, "You want to try it?" So I thought that was cool. But the she has another tool that she wanted me to try. So I think we have time for that. So I'm gonna let these papers sit while I go get that tool real quick. And it might just surprise you what that tool is. Okay, you ready for the tool? I'm gonna show you the tool. I was just double checking the papers. She brought me this because we were getting rid of some old curtains, and she brought me this and said, "Try that." Now I can tell you this right here. That's not going to print well. But what will print well is this, and, and this rope here would be interesting. This is too big and bulky. So let's play with it and see what happens. If anything, we just throw it back in the trash. All right. I didn't get this corner very well, but that's okay. Okay, so that'll kind of show us what that looks like. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, yeah, I think we'll keep that tool too, I guess. Look at that print. That's a cool print. It's got these nice little lines in it. Okay. One more print. I think I'll go with this blue again. Or turquoise, whatever you want to call it. A little bit more paint than I would hope for, but it's okay. We'll just roll it off. All right. This one's going to be a messy one. I'm going to lay that out and then try to just like circle these around. I'm going to take another piece of paper and just push in. See that big bulb thing right there? That's just not working. And then this rope piece. So this is a cumbersome tool. I would have to deconstruct this tool just a little bit. So like I would cut off the rope pieces and use that maybe, depending on how it prints. I would definitely be cutting off that big bulb thing. But once I cut off that bulb thing, all the other fringe that's on there, yeah, that's not going to be cool. So I've moved the rope a couple times. That's all right. All right. This might be a meh tool. Well, that's interesting. So that picked up a lot of paint there. And I like the rope effect, but I just don't know, guys. I'm just probably not a fan of this tool. Too big and bulky. But that is definitely interesting. So, maybe we leave the big bulb thing on there. And then the rope. The rope turned out pretty cool. Yeah. The problem with the rope is it's thin and it's hard to push down to get that print. And so then how much is on your hands versus what's on the plate. So that would be the thing there. All right, let's go with this gray. Since we have a lot of space, I'm gonna just go with this gray. Oh, you just came right on out. All right. Yeah, no, that was not good. We were kind of dry. So don't know what that's gonna look like now. Not sure this print will turn out. Only because there seemed to be still green paint on my plate, on my brayer, and it kind of blended back in. So not sure if this print's even going to turn out, in which case we will not be using that tool. Yeah, that tool's not very cool. Not liking that tool. I didn't let the paint dry as much, so it's user error more than anything else. But the tool, I just wasn't impressed with it. Yeah, not a tool. All right, so let's take a look at our tools that we did today. Oh, there was another one. All right, so these are the 4 tools that we gel printed with today. And 1 second. I'm looking for something here. Okay. So let's rank them. This is a good tool. This, that's a 10. This tool, this is what I call a tacky tool. It's really only going to work well if the paint's a little dry. I'd give it a 5, maybe a 7. I'll give it a 7. This tool, this is a pretty decent tool after all. I was surprised by this tool. Left some really nice lines. So I'd probably give it a 5 or a 7. This one, this is just too big and bulky of a tool. I mean, it's just not going to work well. These little whispers were cool when they were on the plate, but I didn't let it dry enough. And then when I rolled it out, it just didn't have the effect that I was hoping for. So, um I think I'd probably give this like a 3. I'm not going to keep this tool. This is going to go back in the trash where it came from, or it didn't make it to the trash can before it got intervened, but it's going to go in the trash now. So that's how I would rank my tools that I use today. So when you go and you start doing jelly printing and you look at textures everywhere, you may find some tools that you like and try. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of tool you like the best. Christina in the live, she said that she liked to use food packaging, and that is definitely a, a a tool that you can look at, especially like the fruit net. Oh, love the fruit net. That's like one of my favorite tools. Um, but there's pill packaging, the blister packs. That's what I'm looking for, that word, blister packs, that you could use. Um, just bubble wrap is a favorite. I use a lot of bubble wrap. So just packaging in general, cardboard, those kinds of things. So I try to find the unique tools that you mostly can't find, to see what that's like. Sometimes you have an old shoe, the bottom of an old shoe, and it's got the ridges of the sole on it. Um, if you don't want all that on your shoe, you may want to wash that shoe, but otherwise you're gonna have some bad looking jelly prints there. But any case, with that, go and experiment. I'm not asking you to go digging through trash, but if you happen to see a tool before it makes the trash can, that's the best tool because that's not all dirty at that point. But try it out, see what it's like, and um, comment below on your favorite tool. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm and, gets people interested in watching this video. And I hope you have a great day. And thank you for watching Ratchet Up Your Art. Oh, now my mouse is not working. This is like a blooper right now. It is not going away. Need the mouse. Love bloopers at the end of a show. I don't know why the mouse is not working, but that's real fun. Okay. We'll be cutting this out. Bye. Or not.